Introduction. The power of the compound effect. Imagine this. You're standing at the edge of a river, watching as the current moves steadily forward. Each drop of water may seem insignificant on its own, but over time, these drops build momentum, carving paths through rock, shaping landscapes, and creating mighty rivers. That's exactly how the compound effect works in your life, quietly, subtly, and powerfully. In a world that promises instant gratification, we often forget the secret. To true success isn't in the loud, flashy moments. It's in the small, everyday choices we make. The actions that seem insignificant at the time, but, over time, compound to produce extraordinary results. Think about it. A single healthy meal, a brief moment of exercise, a decision to read instead of watch TV, or taking a few minutes to set goals. These actions seem small, maybe even trivial in the moment, but as they accumulate, they create a compound effect that shapes your life in ways you never imagined. We live in a society obsessed with quick fixes and shortcuts. We want to lose weight overnight, make money fast, or find success in a matter of weeks. But here's the truth. Lasting success doesn't come from one big breakthrough. It's built from the accumulation of small, smart choices that are consistently made over time. And this, my friend, is where the power of the compound effect lies. Every choice you make, whether it's the food you eat, the people you surround yourself with, the work you put in, or the thoughts you think, is like a tiny drop of water. It may seem insignificant, but over time, it contributes to the larger current of your life. Small habits, when repeated over days, weeks, months, and even years, create results far beyond what you can imagine. The question is, what direction are you allowing your drops to flow? This book will reveal how you can harness the compound effect to achieve your goals. It will show you how the little things, the small decisions you make every day, can lead to massive transformations in your career, health, relationships, and finances. Let me paint a picture for you. Let's say you decide to read just 10 pages of a book every day. Seems small, right? But in 1 year, that's nearly 3,650 pages. Enough to read 5 to 10 books that could transform your knowledge and your career. Or let's take finances. If you save just $5 a day, in 1 month, you've saved $150. In a year, that's over $1,800. It doesn't seem like much at first, but as you consistently save, invest, and grow your wealth, the compound effect kicks in. The small amounts begin to add up, and before you know it, you've created a substantial sum. It's easy to overlook the power of small changes. Maybe you're thinking, I don't have time to work out for an hour, or I don't see how skipping one meal can make a difference. But here's the truth. It's not the grand one-time actions that lead to lasting success. It's the small, consistent actions that accumulate over time, day in and day out. So why do most people fail to make real progress? They're looking for quick results, or they get discouraged after seeing little to no progress in the beginning. But the key to success is patience. It's trusting that small, incremental actions will compound into something far greater than what you can see right now. The magic isn't in doing more. It's in doing consistent small things that build over time. The great news: this approach is accessible to everyone. You don't need a special talent, a massive budget, or an extraordinary amount of time. What you do need is consistency. The ability to show up every day, no matter how small the action is, knowing that over time, it will add up. You may not see the results immediately, and that's okay. In fact, it's completely normal. The compound effect works in the background, steadily creating momentum. You'll start to notice the changes when they begin to snowball. When one small action after another has led you to a place where things seem to be happening effortlessly. That's the power of compound growth. This book isn't about quick hacks or motivational speeches. It's about real, lasting change that happens through simple, daily habits. We're going to explore how small, positive changes in your mindset, habits, and behaviors, when applied consistently, will create massive results. You will see how focusing on tiny improvements in your life can lead to extraordinary transformations in ways you never imagined. The key is to start small. Don't aim for perfection, just aim for progress. It's the little things you do today that will make all the difference in your future. As we dive into this book, you'll discover how to master this principle in every area of your life. You'll learn to make better decisions, build powerful habits, and create momentum that moves you toward success. no matter where you're starting from. So, are you ready to start harnessing the power of the compound effect? The path to lasting transformation is waiting for you. All it takes is the courage to take that first small step, and trust that every action you take today will lead to the life you've always dreamed of tomorrow. Chapter 1. The power of small, consistent actions. It's easy to overlook the power of small actions. We live in a world that glorifies big moves, fast results, and instant gratification. But what if I told you that the real key to success lies not in the huge leaps, but in the small, everyday actions you take? What if I told you that the tiniest of steps, when compounded over time, lead to extraordinary results? This is the essence of the compound effect, the principle that small, consistent actions build upon each other to create massive, long-term results. It's the idea that every decision you make, no matter how insignificant it may seem in the moment, is a step toward creating the life you want. The question is, are you making the right choices today that will lead you to the life you desire tomorrow? Let's break this down. Imagine you've decided to work out for 15 minutes each day. At first, it doesn't seem like much. A quick workout here, a small effort there, it feels like you're hardly making a dent. But what happens after a month, 6 months, a year? Over time, those 15 minutes a day add up, and suddenly you've transformed your health. It's the compound effect in action. Now, let's look at it from another angle. Imagine you skip your workout for a week. A missed session here and there doesn't seem like much. But what happens over the long term when you don't prioritize that small action? It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that skipping one day won't matter. But the reality is, every small action, whether positive or negative, adds up. Those small choices compound, and over time, they shape the course of your life. This is where the power of consistency comes in. It's not about making grand changes overnight. It's about making small, deliberate decisions every day. The magic happens when you repeat those actions over time. The compound effect takes small, seemingly insignificant decisions and amplifies their impact. The results may not be visible immediately, but as time passes, you'll look back and realize how far you've come. The beauty of the compound effect is that it works both ways. If you're taking consistent, positive actions, you'll see the results compound in your favor. But if you're consistently making choices that aren't aligned with your goals, you'll experience the negative compound effect. Small bad habits, like skipping meals, avoiding exercise, or procrastinating, will also compound, leading you further away from your desired outcomes. So, the key is in the small things. The seemingly insignificant choices you make today will define your tomorrow. The good news is, you have the power to make those choices. You don't need to completely overhaul your life to achieve success. In fact, the key to long-lasting transformation is making small, sustainable changes. It's about focusing on one small habit at a time and consistently improving it over time. Take, for example, someone who wants to improve their financial situation. It's easy to look at the amount of money you need to save and feel overwhelmed. But if you start small, saving just a small portion of your income each month, the compound effect will help you build wealth over time. That small savings each month may seem insignificant at first, but when compounded over years, it leads to financial security. The same applies to relationships. Small gestures like taking the time to listen to someone, showing appreciation, or spending quality time together don't seem like much on their own. But when practiced consistently, they build trust, deepen bonds, and create long-lasting relationships. The key is consistency. It's the ability to show up every day, even when it seems like the effort is too small to matter. The more you focus on these small actions, the more you begin to see their impact. The compound effect is a powerful force that can work for you, or against you, depending on the actions you choose to take. The most successful people in the world didn't achieve their success overnight. They didn't wake up one day and suddenly find themselves at the top. They got there by making small, consistent decisions every day, whether that was in their health, finances, or career. The compound effect works for anyone willing to make consistent, intentional choices. This chapter isn't about making massive changes right away. It's about understanding the power of small, consistent actions and realizing that they have the potential to create massive transformation in your life over time. It's about taking responsibility for the decisions you make today and understanding that those decisions are shaping your future. So, Take a moment and think about your daily habits. What small actions are you taking each day? Are they helping you move toward your goals, or are they leading you further away from them? The compound effect is always at work. It's up to you whether you want to harness its power for positive change or let it work against you. In the next part of this chapter, we'll dive deeper into how both positive and negative actions compound and how you can leverage the compound effect to create lasting change. But for now, take this truth with you. Small actions, taken consistently, will lead to extraordinary results. The choice is yours. You might be wondering how something as simple as skipping a workout or eating a junk food snack could make a real difference in your life. It's easy to think these small actions don't matter. After all, it's just one missed workout, just one unhealthy meal, or just one small purchase. But here's the thing. The compound effect doesn't work in big moments. It works in the small, daily decisions we make. It's the choice you make every day, not the big, dramatic changes that determine your future. Let's take an example. If you skip a workout today, it may not seem like a big deal. After all, it's just one day, right? But what if you continue to skip workouts over the next week, the next month, and then a year? Eventually, you'll look back and see that those small, seemingly insignificant choices have added up, and they've led you further away from your fitness goals. That the same happens with finances. A small daily expense like buying a cup of coffee or eating out for lunch may feel harmless in the moment, but over time, these small purchases add up. At the end of the month, you may be surprised at how much you've spent without realizing it. The compound effect works in both directions, positive and negative. Small, positive actions add up over time to create significant change. Similarly, small negative actions, when repeated consistently, can lead to undesirable results. In life, it's easy to fall into the trap of thinking small decisions don't matter. But every action you take compounds, one step at a time, building on the last. When you choose to exercise just 15 minutes a day, even if you don't see immediate results, you're setting the stage for long-term health and fitness. If you continue to make small, positive decisions, they'll begin to build momentum. The more consistent you are, the more powerful the compound effect becomes. The challenge comes when we let the small negative actions slide. A missed workout today might not seem like a setback, but when you look back over time, those missed workouts add up. So does procrastination. So do the small, mindless decisions we make that aren't aligned with the life we want to create. The real power of the compound effect comes from the consistent decisions you make every day, regardless of how insignificant they may seem in the moment. When we realize how small, daily actions compound, we can start making more intentional choices. Instead of skipping workouts, we start showing up. Instead of wasting money on unnecessary purchases, we begin saving, even if it's just a small amount each day. These small decisions, when compounded over time, will lead to a healthier, wealthier, and more fulfilling life. The problem arises when we become impatient. We live in a world where we expect quick results. We want instant gratification. But true transformation takes time, and the compound effect rewards patience and persistence. The small actions that are easy to do are also easy not to do. It's tempting to skip that workout, to buy the unnecessary item, or to procrastinate on a goal. But over time, these decisions add up, and they begin to shape our lives in ways we may not notice right away. Here's the key. The compound effect doesn't require perfection. It doesn't require big dramatic changes. It's about making better decisions, consistently. It's about the small actions you take every day, and how those actions, when compounded over time, lead to results that far exceed what you could have imagined. So, ask yourself, what small actions are you consistently taking today? Are they leading you toward the life you want to create, or are they slowly taking you further from your goals? The beautiful thing about the compound effect is that it works in your favor as soon as you start making the right decisions. It's about consistency, not intensity. It's about doing the right thing, day in and day out, and trusting that over time, your efforts will pay off. It may not seem like much now, but in a year, in 5 years, you will look back and see the incredible impact that your small, consistent actions have had. You'll realize that the results you've achieved were the result of your daily choices. And when you see the transformation, you'll understand the power of the compound effect, and how it has quietly shaped your life in ways you never thought possible. Chapter 2. The ripple effect of every action we take, no matter how small, creates a ripple that spreads far beyond the moment. It's easy to think of our actions as isolated, disconnected events, but in reality, they form an interconnected web of influence that impacts everything around us. This is the essence of the ripple effect, that idea that every choice you make, whether positive or negative, sends waves through your life and the lives of those around you. Picture a pebble being dropped into a pond. At first, there's only a small splash, but as the ripples expand outward, they continue to affect the entire surface of the water. The same is true for your actions. A small decision today can create effects that ripple out, affecting not just you, but those around you. The choices you make tomorrow, and even the path your life will take in the future. Let's look at this concept in action. You wake up a little earlier than usual, just 10 minutes, to meditate. That small act of mindfulness starts your day on a peaceful, focused note. Because you feel calmer and more centered, you handle the stresses of the day with greater ease. You're less reactive in your conversations, and you approach challenges with a sense of clarity. This makes you more productive, and by the end of the day, you feel accomplished. Now, imagine that you didn't make that decision to wake up early. Maybe you hit the snooze button and started your day in a rush. You're stressed, irritable, and impatient. You snap at a coworker, and later, that tension carries over into your personal life. One small decision to wake up early or stay in bed has created a ripple that affects the entire course of your day. This, in turn, influences your mood, your interactions, and ultimately, the results you achieve. The ripple effect doesn't just apply to your mood or interactions, it affects every aspect of your life. For example, one small decision to invest a little money each month in your savings account leads to financial stability in the future. A decision to exercise for just 20 minutes every day leads to improved health over time. A choice to pick up a book for 10 minutes a day leads to expanded knowledge and growth. Every choice you make compounds and ripples out, affecting your life in ways you can't always see in the moment. The ripple effect is also powerful, because it doesn't just impact you directly, it touches those around you as well. Let's say you make a small, positive change in your life, like deciding to be more patient with others. This choice, made consistently, will influence your relationships. You'll be kinder, more understanding, and more supportive. Your actions will inspire others to do the same, creating a ripple of positivity that spreads throughout your interactions and beyond. The people around you will notice the change in you, and it will affect the way they interact with you and others. Conversely, negative actions also send ripples through our lives. A small, seemingly insignificant act of impatience, a short temper, or a careless remark can set off a chain of events that leads to tension, hurt feelings, or misunderstandings. These small, negative ripples accumulate just like the positive ones. But instead of fostering growth and connection, they create distance and discord. This is why it's so important to recognize the ripple effect in our own lives. Every action we take has consequences, both immediate and long-term. The small decisions we make today, whether in our health, finances, relationships, or career, can set off a series of events that shape the rest of our lives. Understanding the ripple effect also helps us to be more intentional with our actions. When we see that every decision has far-reaching consequences, we begin to make better choices. Instead of reacting in the moment, we take the time to think about the impact our actions will have. We become more mindful of the way we treat others, the way we approach our work, and the way we take care of ourselves. Small, positive actions can lead to enormous, lasting change. It's also important to remember that the ripple effect works both ways. Even if you don't see the immediate result of a positive action, trust that it is still working. Just as small negative actions accumulate over time, so do small positive actions. That kindness you showed today may not seem like much, but over time, it builds trust and goodwill, making it easier for you to build meaningful, supportive relationships. The effort you put into your health today may not give you immediate results, but over time, you'll feel the difference in your energy, appearance, and vitality. The ripple effect is a reminder that everything you do matters. Every decision you make, no matter how small, is contributing to the life you're creating. It's not always easy to see the impact of your actions in the moment, but trust that the ripples are spreading, both outward and inward. The small, positive choices you make today are creating a future that aligns with your goals and desires. In the next part of this chapter, we'll explore how to be more intentional with your actions to ensure that the ripples you create are leading you in the direction you want to go. But for now, take a moment to reflect. What kind of ripples are you creating with your actions? Are they leading to the life you want? If not, it's never too late to start making the small choices that will guide you toward a better future. Now that we understand the power of the ripple effect, the question becomes, how can we intentionally create ripples that lead to positive, lasting change? Every choice you make, no matter how small, ripples out and influences your future, your relationships, and the world around you. So, how do you ensure those ripples are pushing you in the direction you want to go? The first step is to become aware of the impact of your choices. It's easy to go through the motions of daily life without thinking about how each action contributes to the bigger picture. But when you begin to see that every choice, no matter how minor, is shaping the path ahead, it becomes easier to make conscious decisions that align with your goals and values. Don't think about it. You may not realize it at the moment, but the small, seemingly insignificant actions you take today are laying the foundation for your tomorrow. A kind word spoken to a colleague, a small gesture of patience with a friend, or a decision to spend a few extra minutes working on your personal goals. These are the small actions that create positive ripples. Let's take a deeper look at how we can intentionally create ripples that lead to the life we want. First, clarify your goals and values. What do you want to achieve in life? What kind of person do you want to become? Once you have a clear vision of your goals, it becomes easier to make decisions that align with them. Every small action you take can either move you closer to your goals or take you further away. The key is to be intentional about your choices. For example, if one of your goals is to improve your health, your small daily actions will need to support that. Instead of hitting the snooze button and skipping your morning workout, choose to get up and move, even if it's just for 10 minutes. Instead of grabbing that sugary snack in the afternoon, choose a healthier option. Each of these small choices is creating a ripple effect that will eventually lead to better health and vitality. The same principle applies to your finances. If your goal is to build wealth, your daily choices around money will matter. Choosing to save a small percentage of your income, even if it's just a few dollars, will compound over time, leading to greater financial stability. Likewise, choosing to live within your means, avoid unnecessary debt, and invest wisely will send ripples of financial prosperity throughout your life. In your relationships, small, positive actions can create deep, lasting connections. Instead of taking your loved ones for granted, show them appreciation through small gestures like a thoughtful message, a compliment, or simply making time to listen. These actions, while small in the moment, build trust, strengthen bonds, and create a ripple of positivity that benefits everyone involved. However, it's not just about being mindful of the positive actions you take. It's also about recognizing and eliminating the negative ripples you might be creating unintentionally. Small negative actions can accumulate just as quickly as positive ones, and they often have a more significant impact than we realize. An impatient word, an angry outburst, or a careless decision can create ripples of frustration, misunderstanding, and conflict. The key to preventing these negative ripples is awareness and self-control. By becoming more mindful of your thoughts, words, and actions, you can consciously choose to respond with patience, kindness, and understanding, instead of reacting impulsively. In doing so, you'll prevent the negative ripples from spreading, and you'll create a more harmonious, positive environment for yourself and those around you. Another important aspect of creating positive ripples is consistency. It's easy to make small, positive changes for a day or two, but the real power of the ripple effect comes from repeating these actions over time. The more consistently you take positive actions, the more momentum you build, and the greater the impact your ripples will have. Think about a small, consistent habit, like journaling every morning. At first, it may feel like a minor action, and you might not see immediate benefits. But as the days go by, you start to notice the impact. You feel more focused, more organized, and more connected to your thoughts. Over time, this small habit begins to compound, and you realize it's had a profound effect on your mindset, your productivity, and your overall well-being. Patience plays a crucial role in this process. When we take small, positive actions, we often expect immediate results. However, the ripple effect works slowly and steadily. Sometimes, It's easy to get discouraged when we don't see immediate change, but trust that the ripples are spreading. Even if they aren't immediately visible, you'll start to notice the impact of your actions when they've had time to build momentum. And just like the ripples in a pond, they'll continue to spread outward, affecting more and more areas of your life in ways you might not have expected. These ripples will affect your relationships, your career, your health, and even the way you perceive the world. Finally, embrace the power of positive influence. The ripples you create don't just affect your own life, they also influence others. When you consistently make small, positive choices, you inspire those around you to do the same. Your actions become a model for others, and they begin to create their own positive ripples. This is the power of the ripple effect. By intentionally making small, positive choices each day, you can create a life filled with abundance, peace, and connection. It starts with the small decisions, the little things that seem insignificant in the moment. But when those small actions accumulate, they create a force that can change your life and the lives of those around you. Chapter 3. Mastering Habits for Lasting Change, Part 1. In the Pursuit of Success. We often look for big breakthroughs or instant results, but the truth is that lasting change is built upon habits, small, everyday actions that, when repeated over time, have the power to shape our future. Habits are the invisible force that drive our actions, often without us even realizing it. They form the foundation of our lives, influencing everything from our health to our relationships, to our careers. The key to achieving lasting change is not in making drastic one-time decisions, but in cultivating positive habits that compound over time. The question is, how do we master our habits so they work in our favor instead of against us? Start by understanding that habits are a result of small decisions. Every habit you have today is a result of small decisions you made in the past. Whether it's waking up early, exercising, eating healthy, or procrastinating, each of these actions started as a simple decision. Over time, those decisions became ingrained in your routine and turned into habits. The same principle applies to good habits. Small, positive actions repeated consistently can turn into life-changing routines. Let's take the example of exercise. You might start by deciding to work out for just 10 minutes a day. At first, it feels like a small, insignificant effort, but as you continue to show up every day, it becomes a habit. Over time, your body starts to crave movement, and you begin to notice improvements in your energy, strength, and mood. What started as a small commitment snowballs into a healthy lifestyle. This is the power of habit. It doesn't require major changes, just consistent, small actions that compound over time. But what about bad habits? They follow the same principle. A habit doesn't start as a huge, overwhelming force. It starts as a small action, a decision to indulge in something unhealthy or unproductive. Skipping one workout, eating junk food, or procrastinating on a task might seem harmless in the moment, but when these actions are repeated, they become ingrained in your daily routine. Over time, they start to control your behavior and shape the trajectory of your life in ways that are difficult to reverse. The key to mastering habits lies in understanding the process of habit formation. Every habit goes through a cycle. First, there's a cue, something that triggers the behavior, then the routine, the behavior itself, and finally, the reward, the satisfaction or benefit you get from the behavior. For example, if you're used to eating a sugary snack in the afternoon, your cue might be a dip in energy. The routine is eating the snack, and the reward is a temporary boost of energy or pleasure. The same cycle applies to positive habits. If you want to build a habit of exercising, the cue might be waking up in the morning or having a specific time set aside in your schedule. The routine is your workout, and the reward is the satisfaction you feel after completing it, the boost of energy, the sense of accomplishment, or the physical benefits you start to notice. Understanding this cycle is key to both breaking bad habits and building good ones. To master your habits, start by identifying the cues that trigger your behaviors. Are you reaching for junk food because you're stressed or bored? Are you procrastinating because you're overwhelmed or distracted? Once you identify the cue, you can start to change the routine. For example, if stress triggers unhealthy eating, you can replace the routine with a healthier coping mechanism, like taking a walk, practicing mindfulness, or having a healthy snack. Over time, your brain will start to associate the cue stress with the new routine healthy coping mechanisms, and the new habit will begin to take root. Another important aspect of mastering habits is tracking progress. It's easy to underestimate the power of small actions, especially when the results aren't immediate. But tracking your progress helps you see the incremental improvements you're making, whether it's marking off days on a calendar, writing down your achievements, or measuring your success with tangible results. Tracking your progress reinforces your commitment to the habit and boosts motivation. It also gives you a visual reminder of how far you've come, which can be incredibly motivating when the process feels slow. One of the most powerful tools for habit mastery is accountability. Having someone to check in with, whether it's a friend, family member, or coach, makes a huge difference in maintaining consistency. When you know someone is expecting you to follow through, it adds an extra layer of motivation to keep going. Accountability also provides a support system when things get tough, offering encouragement and guidance when you need it most. In the next part of this chapter, we'll dive into how to overcome the obstacles that prevent us from building lasting habits and explore the importance of consistency in maintaining them. We'll look at strategies to break bad habits and build positive ones that serve us in the long run. For now, reflect on the habits that are currently shaping your life. Are they moving you closer to your goals, or are they holding you back? The power to change is in your hands, and it all starts with mastering your habits. One small step at a time. 2. Build habits that lead to lasting change. One of the most essential factors is commitment. Consistency is the key to making your habits stick, but without commitment, you will find yourself falling off track repeatedly. When we set a goal to build a new habit, the excitement often fades, and the initial motivation wanes. But the individuals who achieve their long-term goals don't rely on motivation alone, they rely on their commitment to the process. No matter how small the daily action might seem, the truth about habits is that they require persistence and patience. People who achieve lasting success don't do it by making grand efforts every day, but by simply sticking to their actions consistently. If you want to lose weight, for example, it's not about having a perfectly strict diet one day and then going back to old habits the next. It's about eating healthy foods regularly, even if you don't see dramatic results right away. You have to trust that each small effort compounds over time. This is where the power of consistency comes in. Small, consistent actions, not big, drastic changes, are what lead to remarkable results. Over time, these actions begin to accumulate, and the results are inevitable. But don't expect quick results. Remember, the compound effect doesn't reward immediate gratification. It rewards the effort you put in day after day. Consistency will always win over intensity. One of the most crucial steps in creating lasting habits is setting up an environment that supports them. If you want to build the habit of reading every day, place your book in a spot where you'll see it every morning. By placing cues in your environment, you make it easier for yourself to make the right choice without thinking about it too much. Your environment can either support or undermine your goals. If you're trying to eat better, keeping healthy snacks within easy reach and removing the unhealthy ones from sight is a simple but effective way to make good choices easier. Breaking a habit that doesn't serve you is just as important as building a new one. It's about eliminating the cues that trigger your negative behavior and replacing them with positive alternatives. For example, if you're trying to quit snacking on junk food late at night, removing the snacks from your house might help. You can replace that habit by drinking a glass of water, going for a walk, or reading a book before bed. Eventually, you'll start associating that time of night with healthier alternatives. The key to changing habits is not to focus on willpower alone. It's about setting up a system that makes your desired behavior the default option. People don't have to exert willpower to brush their teeth every day, they just do it because it has become a habit. By starting small and gradually making the new behavior part of your routine, you make it automatic. The more you make this behavior automatic, the less energy you'll need to invest in doing it. One important concept that many people overlook is tracking progress. It's easy to get discouraged when you don't see immediate results. However, tracking your progress can keep you motivated. It helps you see the changes you're making, even when they're not obvious. When you track something, whether it's your workouts, your meals, your spending, or your mood, it gives you a sense of accomplishment. You're visually reminded of the small actions you've taken that will ultimately lead to your larger goal. In this process, you'll also come to realize that perfection is not necessary. Trying to be perfect will only cause frustration. What matters is showing up consistently, even if it's not always perfect. There will be days when you fail or don't meet your goals. But instead of letting that derail your progress, refocus and get back on track the next day. Remember, the power of the compound effect comes from small actions over time, not from being perfect every day. Finally, as you work to master your habits, don't forget the importance of patience. The compound effect doesn't reward those who try to rush their results. It rewards those who commit to the process and give themselves time. Change takes time, and sometimes it feels like nothing is happening. But every small effort counts. Keep trusting the process, and as the days, weeks, and months pass, you'll see the transformation unfold. Mastering habits isn't about making big, dramatic changes, it's about making small changes consistently. Over time, those small changes will add up to remarkable results, and you will realize that what seemed impossible at first was actually achievable all along. With persistence, patience, and consistency, you can transform any area of your life. Chapter 4. The role of momentum. The first step in achieving any goal is creating momentum. When you start something new, whether it's working out, eating healthier, or making a major career change, the hardest part is simply getting started. You have to push through that initial resistance, that inertia. It's like trying to get a boulder moving uphill. It takes all your energy to get started. But once you push past the resistance, things get easier. The boulder begins to roll, and the effort required to keep it moving becomes much less. Momentum is the hidden force that makes success inevitable once you've started. It's the reason why some people achieve extraordinary results, while others struggle, despite their efforts. The key difference is that successful people have figured out how to create and sustain momentum in their lives. They don't wait for motivation to strike, they create their own momentum through consistent, small actions. Here's the truth: you don't need to start with massive action. In fact, starting small is the best way to build momentum. Small actions done consistently will lead to massive results over time. It's the compound effect at work. Small decisions, repeated consistently, create massive results that accumulate over time. One of the biggest mistakes people make is thinking that the results should come quickly. We live in a world of instant gratification, where we expect things to happen fast, but real, lasting change takes time. It's about committing to the process and trusting that the small actions will compound. The more you show up, the easier it gets. It's about consistency, not intensity. Let's say you decide to read just 10 pages of a book every day. It might not seem like much at first, but over time, those 10 pages add up. In a month, you'll have read over 300 pages. In a year, you'll have read more than 3,000 pages. That's the power of momentum. What starts as a small effort becomes an unstoppable force. Another important aspect of momentum is sustainability. When you start a new habit or project, it's tempting to go all in and try to do everything at once. But that's often a recipe for burnout. The key is to start with something sustainable, something you can maintain over time. If you try to change everything about your life all at once, you're setting yourself up for failure. But if you focus on small, consistent actions, you'll build momentum without overwhelming yourself. The more momentum you create, the easier it is to keep going. You don't need to push as hard, because the momentum is carrying you forward. It's a self-reinforcing cycle. The more results you see, the more motivated you become. And the more motivated you are, the more consistent you'll be. Momentum creates its own energy. But what happens when you lose momentum? This can happen when we encounter setbacks or distractions. When we stop showing up consistently, we stop building momentum, and it's much harder to get back on track. This is why consistency is so important, because once momentum has started, it's much easier to keep it going than to start over from scratch. The key to maintaining momentum is staying focused on the small, daily actions that will get you closer to your goals. Don't focus on the end result. Focus on the next small step. When you do this, you're creating momentum that will carry you through the tough times, and ultimately, lead you to success. Once you have momentum working in your favor, the next challenge is maintaining it. It's easy to get excited and motivated when you start a new goal, but sustaining that drive over the long haul is where many people falter. Momentum is a powerful force, but like any force, it needs constant fuel to keep it going. A key part of maintaining momentum is avoiding the slippery slope of complacency. The small actions that create momentum need to be repeated consistently. Even if you're seeing results, it's important to stay committed to your daily actions. When you start seeing progress, it's tempting to ease up, thinking that you've done enough. But this is the point where people often slip back into old habits. The danger is in thinking that you've arrived and that you no longer need to work for it. Momentum can stall if you stop taking those small, consistent actions. The most successful people are the ones who never let go of their momentum. They keep doing what works, even when it feels like the results have slowed down or plateaued. They understand that momentum doesn't always appear to be working, but they trust that the compound effect is still in play. Just because you're not seeing immediate rewards doesn't mean your small actions aren't having a powerful effect. Another important thing to keep in mind when maintaining momentum is tracking your progress. It's easy to feel like you're not getting anywhere, especially when the results aren't as dramatic as you'd hoped. But tracking your progress provides you with a clear record of how far you've come. Whether it's keeping a journal, recording your workouts, or checking off your to-do list, tracking progress gives you the psychological benefit of seeing improvement. It serves as a reminder that the compound effect is real and that small actions are adding up, even if you can't see it in the moment. Celebrating small wins is also essential for sustaining momentum. You don't have to wait until you've reached your ultimate goal to celebrate. Each milestone, no matter how small, deserves recognition. These celebrations give you something to look forward to and remind you of the progress you've made. This recognition reinforces the positive behavior, giving you the motivation to continue. It also helps you stay engaged with the process rather than feeling overwhelmed by the end goal. One of the most significant advantages of momentum is that it becomes self-sustaining. As you continue to show up, even on days when motivation is low, the results from previous efforts will begin to feel easier to achieve. Over time, the actions that once seemed difficult become automatic. When momentum is at work, your behavior starts to feel like second nature. For example, when you first begin a workout routine, it might feel like a struggle, but after weeks of consistency, it becomes part of your daily routine. It no longer feels like a chore, and the effort required to keep going decreases. But momentum isn't just about results, it's about building confidence. The more you stay consistent, the more confident you become in your ability to achieve your goals. This confidence becomes a powerful motivator, making it easier to tackle the next challenge, whatever it may be. Momentum builds self-belief, and self-belief is a key ingredient in long-term success. At times you will face setbacks. Life happens, there will be distractions, challenges, and even failures. But what matters is how you respond. If you let setbacks derail your progress, you risk losing the momentum you've worked so hard to build. However, if you stay committed to the process and adjust your actions when necessary, you can quickly get back on track and continue moving forward. It's important to understand that momentum is a cycle. The more you take consistent action, the more progress you make, and the more progress you make, the more motivated you become to continue. It's a self-reinforcing loop, and the longer this cycle continues, the harder it is to stop. In fact, once momentum is established, it can become your greatest ally, making success feel almost effortless. If you feel yourself starting to lose momentum, it's time to evaluate and adjust. Sometimes all it takes is a slight shift in perspective, or a minor tweak in your daily routine to get things moving again. When you identify the small things that are slowing you down, you can act quickly to regain your momentum. Momentum doesn't require major, life-changing efforts. It's the small, consistent actions that make all the difference. Whether you're building a new habit, working toward a goal, or trying to make a change, your ability to maintain momentum will be the biggest factor in whether you succeed or fail. Once you create momentum, it can push you toward your goals with a force that seems unstoppable. The challenge is not just creating momentum, but keeping it going long enough to see the results. Chapter 5. Leveraging the power of choices every day. We are faced with countless decisions. Some are small and seemingly insignificant, while others feel larger and more impactful. However, all of these choices add up to shape the direction of our lives. The choices you make today will determine who you become tomorrow. When you realize that each decision, no matter how small, contributes to the larger picture of your life, it becomes clear that you have more control over your future than you might think. The power of choices is central to the compound effects. More consistent decisions, repeated over time, create the life you live. The truth is, every choice is a vote for the type of person you want to be, the type of life you want to live. Whether it's choosing to eat an apple instead of a donut, deciding to spend an extra hour working on a project instead of procrastinating, or making the decision to invest in your personal growth, each action compounds over time. Let's take a moment to think about something as simple as choosing what to eat. If you make a conscious effort to eat healthier meals each day, it might not seem like you're making huge progress at first, but over time, those small choices build up. When you start choosing healthier foods, your energy levels improve, your body feels better, and you begin to notice the physical changes. Those small choices, when compounded, lead to a healthier life. Similarly, choosing to stay active, whether it's taking a walk, going for a run, or doing some light stretch up, every choice to be more active contributes to a healthier lifestyle. But the opposite is true as well. Every choice to sit on the couch, to avoid exercise, or to indulge in unhealthy food builds momentum in the opposite direction. Over time, these choices have a compounding effect, and before long, the habits become entrenched. One of the most important aspects of leveraging the power of your choices is awareness. When you become conscious of the decisions you make each day, you begin to see the cumulative effect of your choices. Often, we make choices on autopilot, reacting to life without thinking about how they will affect us in the long run. By slowing down and taking a moment to consider how each decision aligns with your goals, you gain more control over your life. For example, let's say you want to become more productive in your work. The small choices you make each day, whether you check your email first thing in the morning, whether you get sidetracked by social media, or whether you prioritize your most important tasks, add up. If you're constantly making choices that steer you off course, you'll find it difficult to achieve your goals. But when you consciously choose to stay focused on what's important, you'll build momentum that leads to greater productivity over time. What's fascinating about the power of choices is that the results aren't always immediate. In fact, many of the best decisions you make won't yield immediate rewards. But just like compounding interest, the results start to build up over time. The more you consistently make the right choices, the more noticeable the results become. And as your results improve, your confidence grows, which makes it easier to continue making those choices. Another powerful way to leverage your choices is to surround yourself with supportive people. The people you spend time with influence your decisions, and their choices can either propel you forward or drag you back. If you're trying to build a healthier lifestyle, for example, but everyone around you is constantly indulging in unhealthy habits, it becomes much harder to make the right choices. But when you surround yourself with people who support your goals and make similar choices, you create a powerful environment that makes your decisions easier. Likewise, the decisions you make about where to invest your time, energy, and resources are critical. Should you focus on personal development, or should you get caught up in distractions? Should you prioritize your health, or should you continue to put it off? Your choices determine the future version of yourself. Every choice contributes to either building the person you want to become, or reinforcing the person you don't want to be. In the next part of this chapter, we'll dive deeper into how to make better choices and strategies for aligning your daily actions with your long-term goals. But for now, take a moment to reflect on your own decisions. Are you making choices that lead you closer to your dreams, or are your decisions keeping you stuck? The good news is that you have the power to choose differently, starting right now. Now that we understand the power of small decisions and their cumulative impact on our lives, the next step is to learn how to make better choices that align with our goals and vision for the future. The good news is that by becoming more aware of the choices you make each day, you can start to make decisions that support your long-term success. The key is intention. Intentional choices are the cornerstone of the compound effect. When you approach every decision, big or small, with intention, you set yourself up for success. This means taking a moment to consider your goals, values, and long-term vision before acting. It's about being conscious of how each decision fits into the bigger picture of the life you want to create. One of the most effective ways to ensure your choices align with your goals is to create systems. Rather than relying on willpower alone to make good decisions, build systems that make it easier to choose what's best for you. For example, if you want to eat healthier, don't leave your meals to chance. Plan your meals ahead of time, prepare healthy snacks, and fill your kitchen with nutritious options. This way, when you're hungry or busy, you don't have to rely on willpower to make the right choice. You've already set up your environment to support your goal. Creating systems is particularly important for long-term goals. If you want to become financially independent, for example, you need to set up a system for saving and investing your money. This might mean automating your savings so that a portion of your income is automatically transferred to a retirement account or an emergency fund. By creating a system, you ensure that saving money becomes an automatic part of your routine, rather than a decision you have to make every time you receive a paycheck. Another powerful way to make better choices is to eliminate distractions. It's easy to get caught up in the chaos of everyday life and make decisions impulsively. But when you eliminate distractions, you create more mental space for the decisions that matter. This could mean turning off your phone notifications while you work, removing unhealthy food from your home, or limiting time spent with people who aren't supportive of your goals. The less noise and distraction you have, the easier it becomes to make decisions that align with your long-term success. A key principle in leveraging the power of your choices is understanding the difference between urgent and important tasks. Many of us spend our days reacting to things that seem urgent but aren't necessarily important. We check emails, respond to messages, and deal with small distractions that take up our time and energy. These urgent tasks can keep us busy, but they often prevent us from focusing on what truly matters, those tasks that contribute to our long-term goals. To leverage your choices effectively, you need to prioritize what's truly important. This means focusing on tasks that contribute to your long-term success, such as working on a big project, investing in your health, or spending quality time with loved ones. These important tasks often don't have the immediate urgency that the smaller tasks do, but they will pay off in the future. Prioritizing the important over the urgent is one of the most powerful choices you can make to ensure long-term success. Another way to make better choices is to reflect on the consequences of your actions. It's easy to make impulsive decisions in the moment, but by taking a moment to pause and consider the long-term impact of your choices, you can ensure they align with your goals. Before making a decision, ask yourself, how will this choice affect my future? And is this in line with the person I want to become? When you reflect on the consequences, it becomes easier to make decisions that lead to lasting success. Finally, remember that making better choices doesn't require perfection. No one makes the right choice every time. The key is to be consistent in making better decisions over time. If you make a mistake, don't dwell on it, just learn from it and continue moving forward. The process of making intentional choices is about progress, not perfection. Over time, as you continue to make better decisions, you will notice the compound effect at work in your life. Your small choices will lead to big results, and those results will continue to build on each other. In the end, the power of your choices is what shapes your life. Every small decision you make, whether it's about what you eat, how you spend your time, or how you treat others, is an investment in your future. By making intentional, thoughtful choices, you ensure that the life you are creating is one that aligns with your values and goals. The key is to be conscious of your choices and to make decisions that move you closer to the person you want to become. Chapter 6. The importance of patience and persistence in a world driven by instant gratification, where everything from food to entertainment is available with just a few clicks. It's easy to forget one of the most critical ingredients for success: patience. We want results quickly, and we often measure our progress by how fast things happen. But real, lasting change doesn't happen overnight. It's the result of consistent effort, small steps, and persistence over time. The truth is, patience is a skill, and like any skill, it requires practice to master. In the process of building habits and achieving goals, the most important thing you can do is stick with the process, even when results aren't immediately visible. While the compound effect works powerfully, it's often not seen right away. It takes time for small actions to build momentum, and it takes even longer for those actions to compound into meaningful results. When we start something new, we tend to expect quick rewards. We want to lose weight after 1 week of healthy eating, or see a significant income boost after a few months of hard work. But the reality is, the most meaningful changes come over time. Whether you're working on a personal project, building a new habit, or growing your finances, patience and persistence are what allow you to stay the course and continue making progress, even when you don't see immediate rewards. Think of the process of planting a tree. You don't plant the seed and expect it to grow into a full-grown tree in one day. It takes time, months, even years for the tree to grow and mature. Similarly, in life, the best results often take time to manifest. You may not see the fruits of your labor immediately, but that doesn't mean you aren't making progress. Each small step you take, each decision you make, is like watering that tree. Over time, the results will become visible. In the context of personal growth, the same principle applies. Whether you're working on a new skill, improving your health, or building a business, it's easy to get discouraged when the results aren't immediate. But true transformation takes time. It's the consistent, small actions taken each day that add up to big results over the long term. The key is to be persistent and to trust that, even when progress feels slow, you're still moving in the right direction. One of the biggest reasons why people fail to achieve their goals is impatience. They give up too soon because they don't see immediate rewards. When the results don't come quickly enough, they abandon the process altogether. But the truth is, success is built on persistence. It's about continuing to show up, even when things aren't perfect. It's about staying committed to your goals, even when the results seem far off. Patience also involves accepting that setbacks are part of the journey. When you're working toward a big goal, there will be challenges. You may encounter obstacles, experience failures, or feel like you're not making any progress at all. But these setbacks are not a sign to quit. They're a sign that you're pushing yourself beyond your comfort zone. Persistence is what allows you to keep going, even when things don't go as planned. The most successful people in the world didn't get there by avoiding failure. They got there by learning from their mistakes and continuing to push forward. In addition to persistence, consistency is also key. Consistency is the act of showing up every day, even when you don't feel like it. It's about building momentum by doing the right things, over and over again. Even if progress feels slow, consistency is what will lead to long-term results. It's like building a muscle. The more consistently you exercise it, the stronger it gets. The same principle applies to your habits and goals. The more consistent you are, the easier it becomes to stay on track. Persistence and consistency work hand in hand. Persistence is what keeps you going when the going gets tough, and consistency is what keeps you on the path toward your goal. Together, these two forces will propel you toward success, even when it feels like you're not making progress. Trust that the small actions you take today will compound into meaningful results in the future. Every small step matters, and every moment of persistence gets you one step closer to your goal. As we continue on our journey of personal growth and transformation, it's crucial to remember that patience and persistence are not just about waiting for results to show up. They are about staying fully engaged with the process, trusting that the small actions we take will eventually lead to the larger outcome we desire. The road to success is rarely straight or easy, but those who endure, persist, and remain patient will ultimately reap the rewards of their efforts. When you're working toward any significant goal, setbacks are inevitable. Whether it's a missed deadline, a failed attempt, or an unexpected obstacle, it's easy to get discouraged. But resilience is what sets the successful apart. The ability to rise again after a setback is what creates the momentum that eventually leads to breakthroughs. Instead of quitting when faced with failure, view it as an opportunity to learn and adjust. The most successful people have faced failure multiple times. They simply didn't give up when things didn't go as planned. Patience is not about being passive or idle while you wait for change to happen. It's about staying committed to the process, even when you don't see immediate results. Think of a potter working with clay. The potter's hands don't stop shaping the clay just because it doesn't immediately take the desired shape. The potter continues to apply pressure and persistence, believing that, over time, the clay will transform into something beautiful. Similarly, your efforts, no matter how small they seem, are shaping your future. Each small action compounds to create a lasting change, even if it takes time. The key is to trust the process. Trust that every effort you put in today is contributing to your long-term success. Whether it's waking up early to exercise, writing a few pages of your book, or saving a small amount of money every month, each of these small actions adds up. They may not seem like much at the moment, but when compounded over time, they lead to extraordinary results. Patience means understanding that nothing worthwhile happens overnight, and persistence means continuing to take action even when the outcome seems distant. It's also important to remember that the process of achieving goals is not linear. There'll be times when progress feels slow, and you may wonder if your efforts are even making a difference. but growth is often non-linear. You may experience periods of small or no progress, followed by moments of rapid growth or breakthroughs. Just like planting a seed, there are times when it feels like nothing is happening beneath the soil, but eventually, the plant begins to break through the surface and grow. Similarly, even if your efforts seem unnoticed, trust that the work you're doing now is setting the stage for future success. Persistence also requires you to embrace the grind. Achieving meaningful success often involves doing the same thing over and over again, day after day. This might feel monotonous at times, but it's the consistent repetition of positive actions that lead to growth and success. Whether it's consistently writing, consistently working out, or consistently saving money, these small, consistent actions will compound over time and produce lasting results. Success isn't just about doing big things, it's about doing the small things consistently and well. Patience is what gives you the strength to continue. It allows you to keep going even when the results aren't immediate. Persistence is what ensures that you don't give up on your dreams. Together, these two qualities create a powerful force that moves you toward your goals. Regardless of the challenges you face, the journey toward your goals may not always be smooth. But the more you persist, the more you begin to see that progress is being made. Over time, the results you've been working toward will become more evident, and the momentum will carry you further than you ever imagined. The most successful people are not the ones who avoid failure, they are the ones who learn from their mistakes, persist in the face of obstacles, and trust the process of small, consistent actions over time. Remember, patience and persistence are not just about waiting for success to happen. They are about continuing to act, to move forward, and to trust that, over time, your efforts will pay off. The power of the compound effect is in your hands. You have the ability to create lasting change, one small action at a time, as long as you remain patient and persistent. Chapter 7. The power of the compound effect in relationships. When we think about the power of the compound effect, we often focus on areas like health, wealth, and personal growth. But one of the most profound ways that small, consistent actions compound is in our relationships. The connections we build with others, whether with family, friends, or colleagues, are often shaped by the small, everyday decisions we make. At the core of every strong relationship is consistent care and attention. It's easy to assume that relationships are built on grand gestures, special occasions, or dramatic acts of love or kindness. While these moments are important, it's the small, everyday actions that truly nurture and strengthen our bonds. The compound effect shows us that it's the quiet, consistent choices we make every day that determine the health and depth of our relationships over time. Think about the simple actions that can either bring you closer to someone or push them away. Saying thank you for something small, giving a compliment, offering a helping hand, or simply listening when someone needs to talk. These small actions are the building blocks of connection. They may seem insignificant in the moment, but over time, they create a deep sense of trust, respect, and affection. The more you make these positive choices, the stronger your relationships become. On the flip side, negative actions, though small, can accumulate in the same way. A harsh word, an ignored message, a forgotten anniversary. These small missteps can have a lasting impact. While one instance might not seem like a big deal, over time, these small actions add up, eroding trust and emotional intimacy. This is why it's so important to be mindful of the small, seemingly insignificant decisions we make in our relationships. Just as positive actions compound over time, negative ones do as well. The beauty of the compound effect in relationships is that you don't need to make big, dramatic changes to improve them. Small shifts in your behavior, deciding to show more appreciation, taking time to listen, or choosing to be more patient, can have a profound impact. By making these small, consistent changes, you create a ripple effect that strengthens the bond you share with others. This principle applies not only to romantic relationships, but also to friendships, family dynamics, and even professional connections. In every relationship, the small actions you take, whether it's acknowledging someone's effort, spending time together, or offering support, compound over time to create deeper, more meaningful connections. Let's take a look at an example. Imagine you're in a romantic relationship and you're trying to improve the connection with your partner. Instead of planning a grand, expensive date night, you decide to make small, consistent efforts to show you care. This could be as simple as leaving a thoughtful note for your partner, asking about their day, or offering a gesture of kindness. without expecting anything in return. While these small acts may seem trivial, over time they compound to create a deeper sense of love and appreciation. You're building a strong foundation with each small, thoughtful act. This idea extends to other relationships as well. In your professional life, small, consistent actions like offering a helping hand to a colleague, being reliable, or expressing gratitude for a job well done can lead to stronger working relationships. Over time, these small acts of kindness and consistency create an environment of mutual respect and collaboration, making it easier to work together and build trust. But what happens when these small, negative actions accumulate? One inconsiderate comment, one missed deadline, or one unreturned message may seem like no big deal in the moment. But when these actions build up over time, they can create tension and misunderstandings. Relationships can start to feel strained when small moments of neglect or negativity pile up. This is why it's essential to remain conscious of the small actions that contribute to the health of your relationships. By focusing on small, positive actions consistently, you ensure that your relationships remain strong and resilient. It's important to remember that positive relationships don't happen by accident. They are built through consistent effort, care, and attention. The more intentional you are about the small things, like showing appreciation, being present, and offering support, the stronger your relationships will become. The compound effect shows us that these small actions, repeated over time, are the real drivers of relationship success. As we continue to explore how the compound effect shapes our relationships, it's important to emphasize that emotional connection is built over time. Relationships aren't simply about avoiding conflict or having fun together. They are about creating a foundation of trust, understanding, and care that grows with every small interaction. The power of compound actions in relationships means that the things you do today, no matter how small, create the future bond you share with others. For example, being present in the moment, whether it's with your partner, family, or friends, makes a significant difference in how relationships evolve. We often underestimate the power of simply showing up and being there when someone needs us. It's easy to get distracted by the hustle of everyday life, but by choosing to engage fully, to listen, and to connect, you are nurturing a relationship that can flourish. The compound effect reminds us that these small gestures, the ones that seem insignificant, are the ones that build the emotional intimacy and trust that are at the core of any meaningful relationship. Let's consider the example of a friendship. Imagine you reach out to a friend just to check in, or maybe you make time to grab coffee together, even when you're busy. These small moments of connection, though seemingly trivial, are what strengthen the bond over time. They show your friend that you care, and they build a sense of mutual trust and understanding. By consistently investing in these small actions, you create a relationship that is resilient and enduring. In romantic relationships, the power of the compound effect is particularly evident. Small, consistent efforts like expressing gratitude, offering words of affirmation, spending quality time together, or supporting each other through challenges can build a foundation of love and appreciation. Each of these actions is like adding another brick to the wall of your connection. The more consistent these actions, the stronger the relationship becomes. But when we neglect these small actions, the reverse effect occurs. One missed phone call, one forgotten anniversary, one harsh word. It may not seem like much at first, but over time, these small instances accumulate. They begin to erode the trust and affection that you've built up, causing the relationship to suffer. The key is to be mindful of the small decisions you make in your interactions with others, because those little choices are what ultimately determine the trajectory of your relationships. It's important to recognize that, just as the compound effect works for positive actions, it also applies to negative ones. Small moments of neglect, criticism, or distance can compound and create long-lasting damage to your relationships. This doesn't mean you have to be perfect or avoid every mistake, but it does mean that being intentional about your behavior and taking responsibility for your actions can help you avoid the slow buildup of negative consequences. Building and maintaining relationships requires constant care, not just in grand gestures, but in the everyday choices you make. It's about showing up consistently, being there when you're needed, and offering support even in the smallest of ways. These actions, when repeated over time, create an emotional bond that can weather challenges and endure for the long term. In relationships, communication plays a central role in leveraging the compound effect. The small acts of communication, like a simple "I love you," or asking someone how their day went, have an exponential effect over time. They create a culture of open, honest dialogue, which strengthens trust and intimacy. On the flip side, withholding communication or letting misunderstandings go unaddressed can result in compounded negativity. The longer these small issues remain unspoken, the bigger the potential for conflict becomes. To continue nurturing the relationship, we must also embrace vulnerability. Sharing your thoughts, feelings, and challenges with someone can seem like a small act, but it has a massive impact over time. Vulnerability fosters closeness, making it easier to support one another, and building a sense of emotional security. By consistently opening up and being authentic, you are strengthening the emotional foundation of your relationship. Another important aspect is mutual growth. The compound effect isn't just about individual actions. It's about how two people grow together over time. A relationship thrives when both individuals are committed to improving themselves and supporting each other in that growth. Whether it's pursuing personal goals, improving communication, or facing life's challenges, together, these small, supportive actions create an environment where the relationship can flourish. However, there are times when relationships will face difficult moments, disagreements, misunderstandings, or challenges. The key during these times is to maintain the same level of commitment to the relationship, showing patience, understanding, and willingness to grow through the conflict. By addressing issues with empathy and a willingness to work things out, you create a resilient bond that can handle difficult times and emerge stronger. So, what's the takeaway? Relationships require consistent effort, small actions that build trust, love, and connection. Whether it's in your romantic relationships, friendships, or family, the small things matter. By being intentional with your actions and continually nurturing the relationships that matter most, you can create deep, meaningful connections that last a lifetime. The compound effect teaches us that every small decision and action compounds, shaping the future of our relationships. The more you invest in them, the more your relationships will grow and thrive. Chapter 8. Financial prosperity through the compound effect. When it comes to building wealth, many people believe that they need a sudden windfall or a huge breakthrough to achieve financial success. However, the true path to financial prosperity is rarely about taking big risks or making large, dramatic changes. Instead, it's about the small, consistent decisions you make every day: how you save, spend, and invest your money over time. The compound effect works as powerfully in the financial realm as it does in any other area of life. Small decisions such as saving a small percentage of your income each month, spending less than you earn, or investing regularly add up over time. These small, seemingly insignificant actions compound, leading to massive wealth over time. But this process takes patience and persistence. Let's begin with the simplest of habits: saving money. It's easy to think that saving small amounts isn't going to make a real difference. After all, saving $50 here and there doesn't seem like it's going to lead to a large sum of money. But over time, those small deposits begin to add up. If you consistently save even a modest amount each month, your savings will compound, and you'll be surprised by the results. For example, let's say you decide to save $100 each month and invest it in a retirement fund or other long-term investment. While $100 might not seem like much at first, if you do this for 1 year, you will have saved $1,200. But the real power of compound savings comes when you continue saving year after year. The next year, you'll save another $1,200, and over time, the interest or returns on your savings will compound as well. Eventually, that $100 you saved each month could grow into a significant sum over the years. But it's not just about saving money, it's also about how you spend your money. Small, everyday purchases add up quickly. Whether it's that daily coffee or impulse purchases, these small expenditures can drain your finances over time. The power of the compound effect in spending is the recognition that small amounts of money spent today will add up, affecting your future financial health. That the key to financial prosperity isn't simply about earning more money, it's about making conscious choices about where your money goes, cutting back on unnecessary expenses, and rethinking how you allocate your money can have a huge impact over time. The more intentional you are with your spending, the more your savings will grow, and the more you can invest in your future. Now, let's talk about investing. Investing is where the compound effect truly shines. whether it's investing in the stock market, real estate, or other forms of wealth building. The idea is the same. Small amounts invested over time compound, leading to significant growth. The key to wealth building through investing is consistency. It's not about timing the market or trying to find the next big thing. It's about making regular, small investments that will grow over time. The earlier you start investing, the more powerful the compound effect becomes. Imagine you start investing $100 a month at the age of 25. Over the next 30 years, those small monthly contributions will compound, leading to a much larger sum by the time you reach retirement age. The longer you allow your money to grow, the more you benefit from the compounding process. But what happens when we delay? If you wait until you're 35 to start investing, you'll miss out on 10 years of compounding. Time is a crucial factor in building wealth, and the earlier you start, the more powerful the compounding effect will be. The key is getting started, no matter how small, and staying consistent over time. Debt is another area where the compound effect works against us. Just as small savings and investments can compound into wealth, small debts can compound into financial struggles. Credit card interest, loans, and other forms of debt accumulate over time, and before you know it, small debts have become large burdens. The power of the compound effect in debt is the way that small, overlooked amounts of debt can compound into a significant financial drain. The best way to avoid the negative effects of compound debt is to pay off your debt as soon as possible. The longer you carry debt, the more it compounds. By paying off high-interest debt first and being disciplined with your spending, you can prevent debt from becoming an obstacle to your financial prosperity. The compound effect in finance teaches us that small, consistent actions, whether saving, spending wisely, or investing up over time to create lasting wealth. It's not about making dramatic changes or huge sacrifices. It's about making smarter, more intentional decisions that align with your financial goals. Whether you're just starting out or are well on your way, the key is consistency and patience. Wealth isn't built overnight, but with small, disciplined actions, you can create lasting financial prosperity over time. As we continue to explore how the compound effect works in the realm of financial prosperity, we begin to understand that building wealth is not about finding the quickest way to make money, but about making consistent, smart financial decisions. Patience, discipline, and consistency are the key drivers of success in personal finance. And over time, these small decisions compound into significant wealth. One of the most powerful ways to build long-term wealth is by adopting the principle of living below your means. This simple yet effective strategy is often overlooked in a society that emphasizes consumerism. It's easy to get caught up in the urge to spend, whether it's on the latest gadget, the trendiest clothes, or indulging in luxuries. But true financial prosperity comes from being mindful of your spending habits and making conscious decisions about where your money goes. The money you save by cutting back on unnecessary expenses can be used to build your future. The power of small savings can have a profound impact when applied over time. Imagine if you made it a habit to save just 10% of your income each month. It may seem like a small amount, but if you commit to this habit consistently, over time, it will build up. By saving that 10%, you are allowing the compound effect work for you. Not only will your savings grow, but the returns on your investments will also start to compound, multiplying your money. What may seem like a modest amount today will become a powerful force in the future. An essential element of wealth building is delaying gratification. Many people fail to build lasting wealth because they live in the moment, spending as they go without thinking about their future. But building wealth requires that you make sacrifices today for a better tomorrow. It's about prioritizing long-term financial goals over short-term pleasures. By practicing delayed gratification, you give the compound effect the time it needs to work in your favor, allowing your money to grow over time. While saving and living below your means are key components of financial prosperity, investing is where the magic happens. The stock market, real estate, and other investment vehicles allow your money to grow exponentially over time. However, the key to successful investing is consistency. By investing regularly, even in small amounts, you can take advantage of dollar cost averaging, which means investing a fixed amount at regular intervals, regardless of market conditions. This strategy minimizes the risk of trying to time the market and maximizes the potential for long-term growth. For instance, consider the concept of compound interest. When you invest in a savings account or other investment vehicles that offer interest, you earn interest not just on your initial investment, but also on the interest that has been accumulated. Over time, the amount of interest you earn grows exponentially. This is the power of compounding. Your money earns money, and as time passes, the growth becomes more significant. The longer you allow your money to compound, the more powerful the effect becomes. One of the most important aspects of investing is starting as early as possible. The earlier you begin, the more time your investments have to grow. If you start investing at a young age, you can take full advantage of the power of compound growth. Even if you can only invest a small amount each month, the sooner you begin, the more significant the results will be over time. The key to building wealth is time in the market, not timing the market. The longer you stay invested, the more your wealth can grow. Similarly, reducing debt plays a crucial role in achieving financial prosperity. Debt, especially high-interest debt, like credit card balances, can quickly erode your financial stability. The interest on debt compounds just like the interest on savings, but in the opposite direction. It works against you, taking money out of your pocket, rather than growing your wealth. That's why it's important to prioritize paying off debt, especially high-interest debt, as quickly as possible. Once you eliminate debt, the money you are paying in interest can be used to build wealth instead. The key takeaway is that small, consistent financial actions, saving, investing, living below your means, and reducing debt can add up over time to create significant wealth. The compound effect is always working, whether you're aware of it or not. The small decisions you make today will compound, leading to greater financial security and prosperity in the future. But building wealth isn't just about the money, it's about creating a life of financial freedom. It's about having the resources to live the life you want, to support your family, and to have the freedom to pursue your dreams. Financial prosperity is not just for the wealthy, it's within reach for anyone who commits to small, consistent actions over time. As you continue to implement the principles of the compound effect in your finances, remember that it's not about perfection or overnight success. It's about the small decisions you make every day. Start saving, start investing, start living below your means, and let the compound effect work for you. Over time, you will see the results of your consistent efforts, and you will have created a future of financial prosperity. Chapter 9. The compound effect in health and fitness. When it comes to health and fitness, the principle of the compound effect works in much the same way as it does in other areas of life. The small, consistent decisions you make every day, whether it's what you eat, how much you move, or how you take care of your body, have a cumulative effect over time. These seemingly insignificant actions, when repeated regularly, compound into powerful results. However, achieving health and fitness goals isn't about making one big change or adopting a drastic routine. It's about creating sustainable habits that you can maintain over the long term. The compound effect teaches us that small, positive actions like choosing a healthy meal, getting a little more sleep, or exercising for 20 minutes a day add up over time. Think about your daily choices. Every meal you eat, every step you take, and every hour of sleep you get contributes to your overall well-being. At first, these small actions may not seem to make a difference, but when you look at your progress over time, you'll see that the compound effect has worked its magic. Small choices, consistently made, create significant long-term benefits. Let's consider exercise as an example. Many people want to lose weight or get in shape, but the thought of going to the gym for an hour every day can feel overwhelming. The key to overcoming this is to start small. Maybe you begin by taking a 10-minute walk every day, and over time, you gradually increase the duration. Once 10 minutes becomes a habit, it's easier to add another 10 minutes. Eventually, this small habit can snowball into a regular workout routine. The compound effect shows us that the consistent small actions you take toward fitness will lead to huge results over time. It's the same with nutrition. Instead of trying to overhaul your entire diet in one go, focus on making small, manageable changes. Maybe you swap out sugary snacks for healthier options like fruits or nuts, or you begin by drinking more water instead of soda. These small changes don't feel overwhelming, and over time, they add up to a healthier overall diet. The compound effect in nutrition is about consistency, not perfection. by making small, healthy choices every day. It gradually improves your diet without feeling like you're depriving yourself. Sleep is another key component of health and fitness, where the compound effect plays a major role. Many people neglect the importance of sleep, but getting enough quality sleep is essential for recovery, energy, and overall well-being. Small improvements in your sleep routine, such as setting a regular bedtime or avoiding screens before sleep, can have a compound effect on your energy levels, mood, and physical health. The more consistently you get quality sleep, the better your body will function. Just as small, positive actions compound to create health and fitness success, small negative habits can work in the opposite direction. One night of poor sleep, one skipped workout, or one unhealthy meal may not seem like a big deal in isolation. However, when these small habits are repeated over time, they start to have a negative impact on your health. The compound effect works for both positive and negative actions. Just as healthy habits compound to improve your health, unhealthy habits compound to harm it. For example, let's say you skip a workout today and eat junk food. It might not have an immediate effect on your body, but if you continue to skip workouts and make poor food choices every day, your health will begin to decline. Over time, you may experience weight gain, decreased energy, and an increased risk of health problems. This is the negative compound effect at work. Each small decision to neglect your health adds up, leading to long-term consequences. But just as small negative habits can compound into health problems, small positive habits can reverse the effects and lead to a healthier, fitter life. The key is consistency. It's about making small changes to your routine that you can maintain over time. The more consistently you practice healthy habits, the more your body will respond, and the easier it becomes to make those habits part of your everyday life. In the next part of this chapter, we will explore how to build a fitness and health routine that works for you, and how to create lasting change without overwhelming yourself. We'll also dive deeper into the importance of mindset and how your beliefs and attitudes towards fitness and health can compound to create lasting success. Now that we've explored how small, consistent actions can lead to long-term health and fitness results, the next step is to create a sustainable routine that works for your individual goals and lifestyle. The beauty of the compound effect is that it works for anyone, regardless of where you're starting from. Whether you're a fitness beginner or someone who's been working out for years, the principles of small, consistent actions apply to everyone. First, start with small, realistic goals. One of the biggest mistakes people make when trying to get healthier is setting overly ambitious goals. While big goals can be motivating, they can also feel overwhelming, especially if you try to achieve them too quickly. Instead of aiming for dramatic change all at once, focus on small, attainable steps that you can realistically incorporate into your daily routine. For instance, instead of committing to an hour at the gym every day, start with just 10 to 20 minutes of exercise, and gradually increase as you build momentum. Building a fitness routine with small steps ensures that you don't overwhelm yourself. For example, begin with a short walk or jog each day. It may seem like a modest start, but over time, those 10-minute walks will accumulate and your stamina will improve. As you begin to see the results of this small action, better energy, improved mood, and maybe even a few pounds lost, you'll feel motivated to increase the intensity. This is how the compound effect works, starting small and building momentum. When it comes to nutrition, small changes are just as effective. Instead of drastically cutting out all your favorite foods, consider replacing unhealthy options with healthier alternatives. For example, replace sugary snacks with fruits, or switch from sugary drinks to water or herbal tea. These small shifts in what you eat may seem insignificant at first, but over time, they have a profound impact. You won't notice the changes immediately, but as you continue to make small improvements, your health will start to reflect those changes. Building sustainable habits also means prioritizing consistency over perfection. It's not about following the perfect diet or doing the perfect workout every day. It's about making the best choice you can at the moment and continuing to show up day after day. The key is to find a balance that works for you. The idea is to make progress, not be perfect. Don't beat yourself up over a missed workout or an indulgence. Just get back on track the next day. Every day is a new opportunity to move forward. One of the most powerful ways to keep momentum going is to track your progress. Whether it's keeping a food journal, recording your workouts, or tracking how much sleep you get. Tracking allows you to see the results of your efforts. It's easy to forget how far you've come, but when you track your progress, you can see the positive impact of your consistent actions. Plus, it serves as motivation to keep going. Mindset plays a critical role in your success. If you want to make lasting changes to your health and fitness, it's essential to believe that it's possible for you to succeed. The more positive and confident you feel about your ability to reach your goals, the more likely you are to make the right choices consistently. When you believe in the power of small actions and trust in the process, the compound effect works in your favor. Each day becomes an opportunity to make progress, and you begin to see how even the smallest choices lead to big, long-term results. While building healthy habits requires effort, the long-term payoff is worth it. It's not about progress. The goal is to build a lifestyle that supports your physical, mental, and emotional well-being. The small actions you take each day, whether it's eating a nutritious meal, getting enough sleep, or staying active, add up to a life that's healthier, happier, and more fulfilling. The compound effect teaches us that the small, consistent actions we take every day determine the trajectory of our health and fitness. Whether it's working out for 10 minutes, choosing healthier foods, or getting more sleep, each action compounds and builds on the last. The key is to make these actions part of your routine and stay committed to the process. Over time, the results will speak for themselves. Chapter 10. Creating lasting change with the compound effect. Part 1. Achieving lasting change is not about sudden, drastic actions, but about making small, consistent decisions every day. Throughout this book, we've discussed the power of small habits, the impact of momentum, and the role of patience and persistence in achieving success. Now, we come to the most crucial element of the compound effect, creating lasting change. Change, especially in the long term, requires more than just setting goals. It requires a shift in mindset and a commitment to consistent action. It's about building habits that align with your values and long-term vision. And it's about understanding that real transformation comes from the small, cumulative choices you make every single day. The first step in creating lasting change is to define your long-term vision. What do you want to achieve? What kind of person do you want to become? It's essential to have a clear understanding of where you're heading, because the small choices you make every day will either bring you closer to that vision or push you further away. Your vision acts as the guiding force behind every decision, helping you stay focused even when progress feels slow. Once you have a clear vision, it's time to break it down into small, manageable actions. Big, lofty goals can be overwhelming and discouraging, especially when the results aren't immediate. That's why it's so important to focus on the small actions that will lead you toward your bigger goals. Instead of thinking about the huge outcome, focus on the small steps that will get you there. For example, if your goal is to get fit, you don't need to focus on the final outcome of having a perfect body. Instead, focus on the small daily decisions like eating healthier meals, exercising regularly, and getting enough sleep. These actions, done consistently, will compound over time to create the change you want. The beauty of the compound effect is that it works whether you're aware of it or not. When you make small changes in your behavior, your mind and body begin to adapt. Over time, these small changes become part of your identity. This is how lasting change happens. As you continue to take consistent action, you begin to believe that these new habits are part of who you are. Instead of thinking of yourself as someone who struggles with health or finances, you start to see yourself as a healthy person, a disciplined person, or a financially savvy person. This shift in identity is crucial for creating lasting transformation. Another key factor in making lasting change is to track your progress. The compound effect is often hard to see in the short term, but tracking helps you stay motivated by reminding you of how far you've come. Whether it's a fitness goal, a financial goal, or a personal development goal, tracking your progress makes it easier to see the small victories along the way. These small wins, when recognized and celebrated, provide the momentum you need to keep going. As you continue to see the progress you're making, no matter how small, it reinforces your commitment and strengthens your belief in the process. Sometimes, you may encounter setbacks, and that's okay. The key to lasting change is persistent staying committed to your goal, even when things don't go as planned. Setbacks are a natural part of the process, and they should be seen as opportunities to learn and grow, rather than letting a setback derail you. Use it as a chance to adjust your approach and keep moving forward. Creating lasting change also requires accountability. While it's possible to make changes on your own, having someone to hold you accountable can make a significant difference. Whether it's a coach, a friend, or a support group, having someone to check in with can help you stay consistent. Accountability provides both encouragement and motivation, and knowing that someone else is tracking your progress can push you to keep going when you feel like giving up. Finally, embrace the idea of small adjustments over time. If you're not seeing the results you want, it's easy to think that you need to make drastic changes. But the truth is, small adjustments, made consistently, can lead to huge transformations. Don't try to overhaul everything at once. Instead, focus on making one small adjustment at a time and building from there. These small tweaks will add up, and over time, you'll see significant progress. Creating lasting change requires patience, persistence, and consistency. The compound effect is not a quick fix or a magic solution, it's a way of life. By making small, positive choices every day and sticking with them over time, you create the foundation for long-term success and fulfillment. Now that we've explored how to create lasting change by focusing on small, consistent actions, the next key step is staying the course. It's easy to get excited at the beginning of a journey, but as time passes, the novelty can wear off, and the initial motivation may start to fade. To create lasting change, you must build resilience and remain committed, even when things get tough. The first strategy for staying on track is to maintain a long-term perspective. It's important to remind yourself that transformation doesn't happen overnight. You're not going to see immediate dramatic results in the first few days, and sometimes even weeks or months of effort might feel like they haven't paid off. This is the point at which many people give up, believing their efforts aren't working. But this is where patience and persistence pay off. The compound effect requires time, and over time, the small actions you take will yield substantial results. One way to keep a long-term perspective is to visualize your success. This mental exercise helps you stay focused on your goal and reminds you of why you started in the first place. Picture yourself having achieved the goal, whether it's getting in shape, building a successful career, or enjoying financial freedom. Think about how that success feels and how it will impact your life. This visual reminder helps keep you motivated and reinforces your commitment to the process. Another key strategy is to keep refining your approach. Sometimes the process of change requires tweaking and adjusting your actions along the way. If you're not seeing the results you expected, don't be discouraged. Instead, take a step back and assess what's working and what's not. Are you still making the right small decisions? Are there areas where you could improve or refine? Your approach, small adjustments are often all that's needed to get back on track and continue progressing. You must also embrace flexibility. Life is unpredictable, and there will always be unforeseen challenges or changes that can interfere with your progress. A rigid approach can lead to frustration and burnout when things don't go as planned. Instead, be flexible and open to adjusting your plans as needed. If something doesn't go according to your timeline or expectations, don't view it as a failure. Instead, see it as a learning experience and use it to adjust your approach for the future. The ability to adapt and remain flexible is a powerful trait that will allow you to keep moving forward, even when obstacles arise. Another effective strategy for staying committed to change is tracking your progress. Keeping track of your efforts helps you see how far you've come, which is essential for maintaining motivation. Whether you track your progress through a journal, an app, or a chart, having a visible record of your accomplishments can serve as a reminder of your progress. It can also help you stay accountable to yourself and your goals. When you see the evidence of your consistent efforts, you'll feel more encouraged to keep going. You should also celebrate small victories along the way. While it's important to keep your eyes on the bigger picture, acknowledging and celebrating small milestones is essential to maintaining momentum. Whether it's sticking to your routine for a week, achieving a short-term goal, or making progress toward your larger vision, take time to recognize and celebrate your achievements. This helps reinforce positive behavior and gives you something to look forward to as you continue your journey. Another important aspect of creating lasting change is to surround yourself with support. The journey toward lasting change can be challenging, and having a support system can make a huge difference, whether it's friends, family, or a mentor. Having people who encourage and hold you accountable can help you stay focused and motivated. Their support can provide emotional reinforcement when you feel discouraged, and their positive influence can keep you moving forward, even when it feels tough. Ultimately, creating lasting change comes down to maintaining your commitment to the process. The journey may not always be easy, and there will be times when the results seem slow to show up. But remember, the compound effect is always working. Even when you can't see the immediate results, your small, consistent actions are building momentum. Trust in the process, remain committed, and keep making those small, positive choices each day. Over time, the results will compound, and you'll see the life-changing transformation that the compound effect offers.